All right, welcome to another Kitchenside chat. I'd show you my face. I got no problem with that, but I think it's more fun to instead of sitting here staring at me while I talk. This one is about buying land in the Philippines. You can't buy land in the Philippines as a foreigner unless you are some type of business entity, and you could go about making that happen. But it's generally a better idea to avoid doing that. You can lease land. You can rent land for a long-term lease, and that's a law that just recently changed for foreigners. I don't know how many landowners are willing to do that. um, it's just they want their money. They don't want to do payments. They want their money. But it could be a good idea for a big piece of property that you don't want to throw down a bunch of money for. But you pretty much just have to buy it in a Filipino's name, like your wife or your girlfriend or your whatever, a local. A lot of people say if you buy land in the Philippines, you're going to get screwed, and I agree with that. You're the first one that's going to get screwed because you're the foreigner, for any reason. Whether China blows the Philippines up, or your relationship goes to crap, or whatever the government blows up, who knows? I mean, I don't want to talk politics, but this is a country with challenges, and you have no security as to where your money or where your money goes, what happens to the property that you bought in somebody else's name. It's just the same as if you would have bought property in somebody else's name in your own country. It's just a bad idea. But if your wife does it and you're in a nice solid relationship, you're limiting your risk. And also, if you get divorced, you're going to get screwed no matter what country you're in. You're going to get screwed. So add this country to the list. You're going to lose the land for sure. You can protect yourself by putting yourself on the deed. Put both of you as a married couple on the deed. That way the house doesn't get sold out from under you. In order to sell the house, it has to have your signature and approval. So that's one way to protect yourself. But people are going to say whatever they want about other people's decisions, and you got to do what's right for you. So, if you come across the right situation, the right opportunity, and the right money, you could get some land here and set yourself up and be stable for as long as you want to be. It's generally thought that land in the Philippines is cheap, and that's up to your own perspective. If you're talking about cheap compared to land in the city of LA, yeah, for sure, Philippine land is cheap. If you're comparing it to land out in the hills or out in somewhere no man's land out in the U.S. in Arkansas or something, then maybe land is more expensive or just slightly cheaper here. It just depends on where you're at. I don't necessarily think land is cheap here. From what my experience has been in Florida, where you can get an acre for a reasonable amount of money. But I don't know what land prices are right now. I haven't bought land in the U.S. in 8 to 10 years, so it could be way higher. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The land is worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. Okay, so my 1 acre here wasn't necessarily cheap, but it had a house on it. It had power running to it. It had a well. It had a septic tank, and it had a fence and a gate, and so it had a lot of perks. This land next to me, nobody knows who owns it, so it's not for sale. But I would be interested in throwing an offer in. And this other land next to me is for sale, but they want too much money for it. And then this land behind me is utility easement for the power line that's there. So they let the locals plant crops, and right now there's corn on it. But Back to the land thing. Yeah, you can buy land in somebody else's name. It's no problem. The paperwork is a nightmare. Dealing with getting the paperwork all legal is a nightmare. You got to make sure you do that and do it right. So that's going to take some time, or it's going to take some money to hire a lawyer to do it for you, or somebody else to stand in and do it for you that knows what they're doing. That's going to take some patience and time. It took us about a month of pretty much constant work to get that done. Let's see, what else? Oh, there's no realty database here to speak of. It's all word of mouth and Facebook Marketplace. So if you're just coming here, don't buy property sight unseen. Don't do it. Don't buy a condo if you haven't seen it. You got to feel these places. You got to spend some time there. You can buy a condo in the Philippines as a foreigner, but you're going to pay foreigner prices. It's going to be expensive, and they're going to be poorly built, and they're notorious for being mold collectors, because you got owners above you that might have a leaky pipe, and they might fix it, they might not fix it, and so you're at their mercy. And then you got Airbnb coming in and out, and other people making noises, and there's just too many people stacked in too small of a place, and I don't think that's a good idea. I also don't think living in Manila is a good idea. I don't care if it's BGC or Makati, because it's got crap all around it, so you got to deal with traffic and noise and mess. Even if you're living in those isolated places, you still got to deal with Manila, and Manila to me is not the city you want to be in. There's plenty of other cities that are way more awesome, like by a million times, such as Taipei, Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur. Like, you want big city life? Go to a big city that's really cool. All right, don't go to Manila. Manila's got some cool things about it, but it's mostly not cool. It's mostly a big damn mess. And the people that live in Manila don't live in Manila because they want to. They live in Manila because they have to. So if you end up getting property and you get it out in the province, and your wife's family is from Manila, they're going to be itching to come out to your property and hang out, to get out of Manila. That happens to me all the time. Happens to us. They come out here to get away from Manila. So if your wife thinks she wants to be in Manila to be close to her family, how about have a conversation with her and ask her if her family likes being in Manila, and if she really wants to be in Manila in some kind of condo crap, and can't plant flowers and can't do what she wants and has to deal with Manila. If she really wants to be there, or if her family would be willing to take the bus and come out to whatever province you're at outside of Manila. And that, I'm just using Luzon for an example. There's plenty of 7,000 islands here to choose from. Just using that as an example because that's where I'm at. I'm in Magalang near Angeles City. So you might be better off, and it might be better for your family to not be in Manila right next to other family. How about be outside of Manila where a family can come relax and enjoy themselves, chill out, enjoy the province life. So that's what we offer here, and we get a lot more visitors than I suspected, and we get a lot. We have parties out here. Birthdays, weddings, all kinds of stuff. Anytime the family is doing something, they come out here, they bring a whole herd of people, and they come out here and they enjoy themselves. They get away from the rat race, the noise, and the mess that is Manila. So my recommendation is to find yourself a piece of property that is outside of the city, and spend some time in that area. Feel it out. Is there anything for you to do as a foreigner there? Or are you going to have to drive? And if you got to drive, how far do you got to drive, and how miserable is the drive to get to something you want to do? Like, there's some hotels and bars in my town, but it's not really touristy here. But I can go 30 minutes down the road to Angeles City and have all the bars and touristy crap I want to do. Plus, there's a lot of shopping, plenty of malls, and they have S&R, which is like Costco, and they have Landers, which is like Costco. So I get big box stores, so that's pretty cool. Wilcon, big hardware stores like Home Depot. So I got access to stuff that I want to do and see. So keep that in mind too. If you're out on some island, are there going to be any kind of stuff for the foreign guy to do? If you're isolated, you can't be too isolated. You'll lose your damn mind. You'll be drunk every day. And that's not good. You can't come to the Philippines and set up a life and just sit around and be drunk all day. I mean, you could, but your body is going to shut down. It's just not. It's not feasible. It's not really what you want to do. You're gonna have to come up with some hobbies, come up with some stuff to do. So, in the province, in my area, I've got a kuya. I've got my wife's cousin is living out here, and he's living in that apartment in the video that I showed before. So he comes to work every day on the property and maintains it. And so I just get into stuff that I want to get into. I'm not a slave to the property. And if we want to skip town, then we can skip downtown and leave him here, and he can take care of the animals. So that's a nice perk of being outside of your home country, is you can usually find some labor that is affordable, that can take care of things that you don't want to take care of, and you just focus on the stuff that you want to do. That goes for tutor. For a tutor, we pay $4 an hour for a very good tutor here for the kid. We can get what they call an ate that comes and cleans the house and comes every day and keeps the house clean, so we don't have to focus on that. That's no problem here. So getting help is super easy. If there's a health issue and we need a live-in nurse, we can do that. That's affordable and possible. So my recommendation is if you want to buy property, go out in the province, rent a house out there, get to know the community, and once you're out in the community will come to you as a foreigner with land for sale. They'll come to you. Or you put the word out, hey, I'm looking for a piece of land to buy. They'll come to you with the deals that are not retail, the deals that are not on Facebook, the family deals. And that's where you're going to find your best opportunities to get affordable properties. These are maybe the person's in distress. They need money for whatever reason. And if you're ready to plop down money real fast, you can take care of that, and you get yourself a deal. So don't be afraid to get out in the province in an area that interests you and rent for a little while and just scope it out. A lot of these places out in the provinces, they don't make you sign a lease or any of that stuff. You just go month to month. You throw some money down and you go month to month. And if you need to walk away from it, no problem. You're not going to lose a bunch of money in deposits and other stuff. And the more you deal with the locals, the more you make friends. When I have something delivered or I need to give a tip to somebody that is helped around the house, then I can give money, and will give them money, but a lot of times I'll give them a bottle. They want to give them a small bottle of Emperador or Alfonso, and they'll be way more happy with that than money. You give them money, they'll be happy with that, but you give them a bottle, that's what a friend does. A friend hooks you up, gives you booze. So these guys all are drinking that Alfonso and stuff, which is pretty good. But you can get a small bottle of that for 60 pesos. So that's an easy tip. You throw them a 60 peso tip. It's easy, no problem. Give them a bottle. They like that. And then they're gonna talk to their friends. Be like, what are they gonna tell their friends when they're spending their 60 pesos at the Sari store from the foreign guy? Nothing. But when they're sitting around a table drinking a bottle, they can show all their buddies, hey, look, this bottle's from the foreign guy. Throw one down for the foreign guy. The foreign guy hooked us up. So yeah, it's a small bottle. You can get a bigger bottle. You can get it crazy as you want to get. But anytime you get a present from a friend or somebody you don't know, you appreciate that way more than cash. So keep that in mind. And in some instances, yeah, cash is better, but I like to give a bottle. So that's my thing. What else? Yeah, feel out the situation. Don't be in a hurry. If it's right, it'll feel right, and it'll work itself out. If you force it, you're going to make a mistake. If you're in too much of a hurry, you're going to make a mistake. If you don't hire a lawyer or somebody that can look at the property details, and if you don't know how to go to the local municipality and check the history of the title and all that stuff, you got to get educated. Watch some YouTube videos. Have your wife watch some YouTube videos in Tagalog. so that they know what's going on, and they know enough to protect your investment and make sure you don't get involved in something that's going to be a problem. So that's my take on that. I hope it helps you out. Don't be afraid to buy some property. If you get divorced or something happens with your relationship, you're screwed anyways. It doesn't matter what country you're in. You're screwed. So you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose the house back home. You're gonna lose the house here. No big deal. Just don't get yourself too far underwater where it is a big deal. If you're spending $400,000 to get set up, you're probably doing something wrong, okay? And also, let's talk about construction real quick. My take on construction is you hire a crew. You hire some local guys, like that house. We had to finish that house. It wasn't complete, so I have some experience with some construction. We built this storage room right here. The roof over the well, the solar panels. Okay, so I've done some construction projects. I haven't built a house from the ground up, but you get your house designs. Make sure they're Filipino style construction, which is concrete, and get it everything approved. Get it. Go through the municipality and get the permit that you need, because if they come asking for a permit after it's there, it's going to cost you double, triple, quadruple. Who knows how much they're going to bone you with. All right, do it right. You're the foreign guy. You're the focus for them. You're going to be the one getting screwed. Don't give them a reason to screw you. Pay the extra. Even if nobody in your province is getting permits, you get a permit. Okay, do it right. So my take on construction is hire some local guys, or some friends of the family, or some family to come and live on your property and build your house. You've already got the plans. Everybody can work from plans. You don't have to hire a construction company. Hire guys that you can hire and fire at will. Okay, so if you've got some bad eggs, you don't fire the whole construction company. You just get rid of the guy that's not performing and bring in another guy. And you got to be on site. You got to be on site. If you're building a house and you're in another country, you're the sucker. You are the sucker. Okay, don't do it. Don't do it. If you think you can do it cheap because you got to do it now, and if you wait a year it's going to be more expensive, don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to get screwed. Wait until you can be on site. Be down the road. Get an apartment down the road, or rent a house down the road during construction. Do something, but you must be present or you will be screwed. You could pay double. And also, if you've got local guys and they're just doing stuff slowly, and it takes a year to build the house, that's fine. It's easier to pay cash. You can pay them as you go. Pay for the materials, pay for the guys. The labor's cheap, the materials are going to be expensive. And it's going to take time. That apartment that I showed in the other video, it took that guy with local friends and family to build that two apartment duplex in 2 months. And all they're doing is cement blocks and a roof, and it's super basic, basic electrical, basic plumbing. That's not something that maybe you would build from the West, but it can be done. It can be fast. And he spent $10,000, so like 450,000 pesos to build that. So for his investment, he's going to get it back in about 6 years, and then he's going to have profit. But he's getting cheap rent. He's got a cheap place. That's not what you're probably going for, but that shows you the power of not going through a construction company, going through the local buddies. They all know how to build stuff with cement. They love building with cement. If you have to get an electrician to come in and do the electrical, that's fine, but they can do the electrical too. It's not rocket science. Plumbing is super basic here too. It's not rocket science. Every house has a septic tank, and it's just a hole in the ground. Doesn't have to have special permits or any crap like that. So you can do it. You don't need a construction company. You can do it. If they have plans, they can follow the plans. Get your plans done good, and those guys can follow it. It's fine. They just tape measure, and you can be there to make sure it's going the way you want it to go. Keep them supplied with food and parts, and they will ride that thing to the end. They will want for it to take longer than it needs to if you let them, because then they don't have to look for a job too soon. If they finish it real fast, then they're going to be unemployed. So keep that in mind. They're going to want to slow roll it, just so they can keep job security for longer, because you're paying them. You're not paying them by the job, you're paying them by the day. So you got to keep an eye on them and make sure they're working and all that kind of stuff. But hiring those guys and doing the pay as you go is the way to do it. That way you can get rid of the bad apples, you can keep the ones that rise to the top, and go from there. So that's how you do your construction if you're going to do construction. And then you're also helping out the local community. You know, you're giving them something to show off to their friends and family. Like, hey, look what I built. Look what that foreign guy had me build. My guys are always bringing people over to check out the property and see what they're up to, what they're building. They're proud of it. They're proud of what they're doing. They may not be able to build the type of quality that you want with the locals. So if you're building something that's unique, they're going to want to show it off and have some pride. So, you know, throw that out there too, that you're proud of them, and give them accolades and bonuses and stuff like that, and keep them happy, and they're going to treat you just as good. They're going to do their work, they're going to do it hard, and they're going to make you proud. So that's my advice on that. If you have staffs, if you have property, you just treat people good. Treat them right. Treat your neighbors good. Now, I'm not talking about giving them loans or giving them jobs necessarily or any of that stuff, but just be social, treat people good, and they'll treat you good in return. So there you go. That's buying a property in the Philippines. Good luck. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you got any questions or want some input. See you.